Hello, my darling Fumi Nation. How are you? How are we? My name is Fumidesaluvold. For those of you that are stopping by for the very first time, you guys are so very welcome indeed. A lot of you in the comment section said, Mommy, we want to have Young, Famous, and African, and we want episode per episode. I said, why not? So for the second season, I covered on Young, Famous, and African. I had covered episode 1 through 4. So we are going to do episode 5, my darling. And it opens up with clips from the last episode. Now remember, that was the campfire where we had Bongang screaming like a mad banshee at Louis. And I had said how disappointed I was at how Swanky did not take control of the situation, and as far as I'm concerned, he was the one that instigated it. Zari also felt that Swanky should have done something about it, and so we have Louis in the opening scene of episode 5 going for a swim in the hotel. He says that he's an empath, so am I, and he didn't like what happened at the bonfire. He felt that it was just so uncalled for. And he felt that Swanky should have stepped in and said, Bongang, calm down, let's try and, figure this out. But he just sat there and watched how Louis was burned at the bonfire. Anywho, Zari shows up. And Zari comes off with this kind of big sister figure for Louis. And she said something to me which stood out. She said, Louis has never changed his story. He has kept to the same story. He was only 21. He was trying to manage and host this big event. Bongang came and he forgot. He forgot to book the hotel rooms, most especially the hotel room that Bongang wanted, and she ended up going back. You apologize about that. You move on. That's nothing for you to spew that kind of hatred and anger on somebody at a bonfire, Bongang. Doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, here was Zari in agreement. And Louis said that he's going to keep his distance. That for him right there, that's not what he's about. And I absolutely agreed with him. Because as far as I'm concerned, if he was ever to see Bongang, the tables have turned. It is Bongang that owes him an apology. Anywho, Annie and Swanky meet up. Swanky calls Annie. Annie comes in for the first time as far as I'm concerned. She's wearing this fabulous red suit. The encrusted beading on the trousers is fire. And she comes with glasses to match. For those of you that know, red is my favorite color. So when Annie showed up in that red outfit, I lived for it. She walks in and calls him by his government name, Jeremiah. I laughed. It was too funny. Jeremiah, is it you? And they sat down and, Jeremiah stood his ground because when he told Annie that, Annie, I heard what you said. I think Annie was of the impression that it was hearsay, that who said that? The person that I fired, this, that, and the other. And Jeremiah, government name, Swanky, said, no, I was on the other line. I was on the other line and I heard it. I'm going to sidestep for you guys. It happened to me. Oh, wow. It happened to me. I was talking to a girlfriend. She had called me to invite me out with herself and her boyfriend. And I turned her down, which was odd because I loved this girlfriend of mine. And everybody knew it. So when I thought I hung up the phone, the old traditional phones where you put the receiver back onto the phone, I didn't place it down properly because my mother distracted me with the question, why did you turn down the invitation? So I turned to her to say, Mom, there's more to it than meets the eye. And I put the phone down, not looking that I had put the phone down improperly. I now went in to talk to my mother and tell her that this boyfriend was actually sleeping with another girlfriend of mine. And that I had spoken to him about it. And where I thought that he would be so apologetic, he admitted it. He said, yes, I'm sleeping with her, but that girl doesn't mean anything. I like this one. And I sat there and I felt so disrespected that he didn't respect me enough to be so, what's the word I'm trying to look for? He didn't fear me enough. He wasn't afraid of what I could do. Or I didn't impact him in any way where he would have understood that that kind of behavior is not on, for sure, by me. But he didn't. He was like, yeah, I'm sleeping with her. She doesn't mean anything. And I absolutely, for the first time, saw the mentality of this guy. It was unfortunate because my girlfriend, of whom I had turned the invitation off, was expecting his baby. They're divorced now. They've been divorced for maybe 10 years. Because that is truly and absolutely who he was. He was loyal to nobody. And he used women. And guess what? My girlfriend, of whom I turned the invitation down, called me. And maybe 5 days after, and said, I heard what you said. And I said, what did I say? I was ready to deny it. And she said, Fumi, I was on the phone. I heard you speak to your mother. When I tell you that my face went different shades of black and dark red, I had nothing to say. And she was right to be annoyed because I should have told her. Yeah. You got to be careful with the phones. Be very, very careful with the phones. And so let me climb back on to Swanky. He confronted Annie. And once Annie kind of saw that she was in a spot, she now flipped it and said, Swanky, I can never be angry with you. I'm not angry with you. I'm not mad with you. I have never been mad with you. You were so upset for 7 months. You didn't say anything. You could have told me why you were angry in the beginning so that the 7 months after I would just sit in my guilt. No, Annie, you would have denied it as you were trying to deny it now. And you swept it underneath the carpet. And you said, Swanky, let's not talk about this anymore so that our enemies will not have more to feed off of us and look at us divided. She did it. She said it. She said it. And Swanky was right to be hurt. Swanky was so stumped on it because Swanky still loves Annie, despite the fact he heard how Annie spoke about him. And that's loyalty for you sometimes. Like I said, I bared my soul. Was I loyal to my friend? And I loved her. I did. I was not. I should have been courageous enough and told her. But she was pregnant. And she was so in love with him. I think I was trying to figure out how or what. And so I was beginning to avoid her and the whole situation. And I think maybe that was why she held on to the phone like, this doesn't just sound like my friend. And then she did hear what I couldn't tell her. But I did tell my mom. So Swanky sat down there. Yup, he did. And he said, Annie, I love you. I love you past the hurt that you have given me. Not only do I love you, Annie, I miss you, but I don't trust you anymore. I will laugh with you, but I won't trust you because you see, the first cut is the deepest, and that is true. That is absolutely true. The first hurt, the first betrayal, the deepest. After that, you kind of get strong. Yeah. And so that scene was done. So from there, Nadia as well as Louis and Naked, they meet up for kind of lunch kind of doodah. So they all meet up and Nadia gives Kanye a recap of what Two-Face said at the dinner that they had prior. And remember I told you about Two-Face. As far as I'm concerned, Two-Face has an issue. He has a sex addiction. I truly believe that. And because of that, he gets into trouble. He has all of these women because he just likes to have the encounter, so to speak. Anyway, Louis is also there and he's trying to explain, you know, what happened with Bongang because Bongang and Naked are friends. And so they have the little conversation, how it blew up, why it blew up, and he just did not understand. And from there, it opens up to a day at the horses. Nadia speaks to Swanky, and Swanky says that, yes, you know, Annie and I kind of kissed and made up, but I'm still hurt because she refused to take accountability for what she said, for what she did. And so that really hurts me. All this that you see where it's kissy face, that's exactly what it is. It really is just kissy face. Anyway, like I said, a day at the horses, the whole gang is there. And we have Fontana, now we have Zari. Fontana does feel some kind of way because Zari has this sense of upper hand. I know Diamond. I have children with Diamond. Are you jealous? Are you this? Are you that? And Fontana says, you know, every time when we talk about Diamond or you talk about Diamond, it's like you guys are getting back together. I mean, hey, I understand about two of you, you know, co-parenting, but this one is on another level. And I think that it's a situation where Diamond and Zari are very protective of a territory that's no longer theirs to have, because you're very territorial, Diamond, also about Zari. That, oh my God, why did Andele, you know, try to date or come to the house to see Zari? That's the mother of my kids. That's the mother of my kids. And Zari lets everybody know that, you know what, Fontana, Diamond has a girlfriend. He has a girlfriend and everybody know about it. You be the one find out in a hot minute. I think that it's gotten kind of out of hand where it's now become back and forth between Zari and Fontana. And Fontana, you really should not pay any attention to Zari. You really shouldn't. She's the baby mama. And for me, this is why I don't think it's a good idea, Fontana, the way that things are going with you and Zari, to even be interested in Diamond, because you're always going to have to deal with Zari because he has children with her by extension. So if you can't get along with the baby mama, you're not going to get along with the boy. I promise you. So it's got that little, you know, back and forth. And it's not, it's nothing to write home about. Needless to say, the big hoo-ha of the episode was when they all came together in the evening. And Swanky comes in. That's another thing. Why is it that when Swanky comes in, it has to come in slow motion? And we're just seeing him walking, straggling down like some kind of god, of which he is not. He's a stylist, and that's it. Do I like Swanky? Yes, but I'm not liking Swanky in season 2. He's very confrontational. He's very erratic. He's very insulting. He's manipulative, and he's misbehaving in such a way that doesn't go with his style. Because I want to have this stylist that really loves, respects himself, and just is about glamour and fabulosity. This Swanky is he's very combative, and I don't like that. Needless to say, this is exactly the kind of energy he brings to this episode. He now gives this big boo-ha announcement. Bongang has left the WhatsApp group. Bongang will no longer be hanging out with us. Bongang can go to hell, as far as I'm concerned. Bitch, please. The way you behaved, I don't want to see you ever again. Why do I care? Why should anybody care? And I love the fact that Kanye came out and said, you know what, Louis, you were around people that was not really looking out for you. Of which, of course, Swanky jumped up. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? You can effing this, you can effing that. Like I said, the boy is out of control. And I love the fact that Nadia jumped up and confronted Swanky and said, say what? Wait 1 minute. Is it Louis your friend? But you were all about, what does she call herself? Bang. And I like the fact that Kanye said, nobody really cares here. I mean, are we to feel sorry? Are we to feel sad? Of which Zari jumped in, really and truly, like, bongang this. And then, of course, Swanky says, the way you guys behaved when I introduced her, the way that she was treated here, there, and everywhere. Swanky, you're a hypocrite. Because whatever the girls did to Bongang, and I'm sure now of good reason, is exactly what you turned around and did to Louis. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like this show turning into a Jerry Springer show. May his soul rest in peace. But that's what it's turning out to be. So I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it at all. No. You guys give us story, give us drama without trying to go through the mud. No. I'm not feeling that at all. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, hit the notification button, and I will see you guys sooner than later. Oh, I guess you guys will be wondering, Fumi, what outfit is this? Let me just get up. Are we living? Because I got black panties on. I know you'll be like, no, Fumi, you should have flesh colored. You're right. But one of my bras, are we living? Are we loving? Because you can wear the straps of the dress. You can see that I'm big busted, and you can see that the girls are sitting up. It's coming. I just got a message from the manufacturer. They did some of the stuff that I'm doing, and I didn't like it. And I told them, send it back. Send it back. As a matter of fact, I tell them, before you send me anything, show me pictures. And the pictures came, and I was like, nope. Yes. Only one thing was right of the 11. I said, send it back. I'm spending a lot of money on this, and my reputation is going to be in this launch. I want it to be fabulous, flawless. I don't care if it takes another year, because it has to be right. So guys, I'm so sorry. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it anymore, but I'm testing some, and I have to foolproof it, because you will never have, there's no brand like this. That's all I can say. And I'm so happy I went through the channels of where I got a bigger bust, because I breastfed and I gained weight and all of these things, because I'm making sure that my limousine girls get what they should have been getting for years. My limousine girls, you know, I love you. So that's it, my darlings. What can I tell you? Take care of yourselves, and I will see you sooner than later. All of my love. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.